It's now my pleasure to introduce, can I say finally introduce, Vidhu Aggarwal, because we've wanted to have her here for a while, and we've been chasing her down, and finally she agreed to read here. That's not true. No, it's true, but it's not that dire. We're just really glad we could finally have you here. Let me read her bio proper first, and then I'll share a brief anecdote. Vidhu Aggarwal grew up in the southern United States. Her multimedia works in poetry, video, and scholarship are oriented around Bollywood spectacle and science fiction. A Kundiman Fellow, she is the founding editor of Specs. Her poems appear in anthologies Language for a New Century from W.W. Norton and The Electronic Burlesque from Saturnalia. Her book of poems, The Trouble with Humpardori from 2016, received the Editor's Choice Prize from the Great Indian Poetry Collective. And to briefly get into a sort of personal anecdote, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience as a assistant editor on Specs when I was a student at Rollins, because that was a pretty formative experience for me. I noticed that there was, in that experience, because initially Specs was organized around a class, which students, undergrad students at Rollins were actually invited to be a part of the editorial process. The dedication there was not only to helping students learn to understand literary works, but to learn to understand them from an editorial perspective. And that's a fine distinction, but a really important one, because it takes your understanding of literature to a completely different level that, frankly, not many schools offer that, not many professors in English departments have the wherewithal to offer that. And that's a really, really important thing. It was an important thing for me. There was a recent interview, which you can go check out in Borough Press Review, between Kathleen Boda and Vidhu. And they talk about how this journal, in some ways, was an effort to foster a community of comrades in experimental poetry. And I think that that's wonderful. And that spirit was in this process as you know, when I was a part of editing the journal. And specifically, some of the things that I learned about building a community from that process were carried completely forward into designing Functionally Literate with Ryan, because what we're doing now very much came from, you know, those rooms, those times in Wilson House where we were, you know, working on laying papers out on the floor and figuring out what a journal could look like. So I'm really, really very pleased to welcome Vidhu Aggarwal.
Thank you. I'm so moved. So before I cry about that, I will cry about something else. Okay, today I was going to start off with Humpardori, but I've decided not to, because for my mother, it's my dad's birthday, and he passed away a few years ago, so I wanted to dedicate this reading to him and talk about patriarchal avatars, which are weird and strange and infect us in so many ways. So this is a poem for my dad. Okay, and it's a weird poem. I'm glad my mom isn't here. Avatar of the virus from outer space. I hollow out jelly bodies. I survive the hiatus shaped like a torus, harrow space-time with my spore. So in the expanding universe, you are not alone. I rupture, fuse eras, retrofit the air apparent for seismic battles, arouse the primordial ooze. Hirsute in the microscope, among my many virtues, I travel well. I ride the trade winds while mediating in situ, like Shiva in a petri dish. I don't bother counting the hours. I frustrate my many suitors entering chupke chupke without their knowledge, You can read my vita in your antibodies, in your error messages, so many variants barebacking the river, on the visa of your liver, urethra, vitreous humor, in your mysterious fat stores, the server, the harvest, your fevers, bird, abraxas, HIV. I begin in nothing, hurl up auroras of inspired psychosis, spin my megalo symptoms into your constellations, your cells, mutating with my each arrival. I revive the outbreak, saturate calamity with my plural strains, empty your body into the sacred flames. Svaha. Thank you. Now for a video interlude. Okay, so Hump, as I described in the fantastic Florida interview with Kathleen Bota, the unicorn sitting right here. Okay. Hump is an avatar of the racialized migratory body of some sort. Okay. So I wanted to reflect this in some way. Hump is out of time. Hump takes a dump. We call it real time. Okay, this is from the book. Okay, so at any rate, I wanted to start out with a sort of manifest, which is a ship's log in a way. So I'm going to play a video. Understand that as I read, the video might be out of sync with anything that I say. Okay, so I'm gonna try, and we'll see what happens. Okay, and then there's some Prince in here, because one must also celebrate Prince along with my dad. He's kind of like a father too. So let's try this. Hey, look me over. Tell me, do you like what you see? Manifest. Humpardori. Sometimes I think of myself as little lady, little Lord Frauterism, but with dark, dark skin. I'm a debased kerfuckle, entangled with plastics. I do the dirty, perplexing work of empire. You might not know it now. Baby, I'm a star. I predate you, hence you are mine. I have scooped out packets of psychic space and hidden them in plain sight, like a saga. I believe in the hype. I terraform the hype into a series of hapless violences. I wait for people to notice. I grow various bioluminescent egos, homuncular cells. They are my neo-colonies. They are called Hump. I have no boundaries, just mouthfuls of shame. I smear myself into things like something unpronounceable. Baby, I'm a star. Ooh-wee. I adore the spectacle. I accept the mangling of my name so I can spread the word. Hump is my amputation, my Desh Pradesh, a desiccated history temporarily plumped up with my fat. I am a cut-up. The work of self-division remains unfinished. I am always drawing my face onto things. It is an ugly face. I I feel I have an ugly face, but at least I feel sore consolation for the alien passenger aboard the first-person singular, the good ship, Lollipop. I'm sore for punishment. I see my dead body sprawling in the mud. Then I think, oh, where shall I next lay my hot voodoo core? Cleopatra loves hump. Raj Kapoor loves hump. Madonna and Child love hump. N176543 loves hump. The Perpetual War loves hump. Gandhiji loves hump. Deep Space Nine loves hump. Hanuman, devotee of Ram, loves hump. Dolly the sheep loves hump. Cyborg Kali loves hump. Everybody loves Humpardori. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna get mean. Like mean. You know Mean Girls. Do you like Mean Girls? Do we all know Mean Girls? Okay, so what I would have to say is that Asha and Usha, no, not Asha and Lata, the Mangeshkar sisters were the ultimate mean girl playback singers of South Asian cinema. They predominated the industry, and they sang for like 40 years of like actresses, like they sang out of their mouths, and they were mean because, you know, no one else could do it. The actresses might have been able to sing, but they couldn't, right? Because these women dominated the field. But I kind of love them too, you know? My dad loved them, so this is for my dad. Playback singer, Asha, Lata, Usha, the meanest girls of Indian cinema. We're a trio of mean girls muzzled up in a weird skin of sound circuitries and rivalries. Our sex kitten voice takes charge of the mechanism. A sampling of sultry, multi-shapen hoe. A terminal spazzing of the heroine into a hoe who hums all day long and all night long. From the first all-night jam of Sister Babel and Coo to this gooey sum of nights, post-haste and hurt, we're all at once a whizzing gob of girl, drunk and confused, guzzing up devotionals and coughing up furballs of melodic tramp stuff, an ashy vixen bolus, warbling the quantum now. Wow. A triple-mouthed wormhole is our communal throat, and our luxurious tongue bends space-time and occupies world, and in every world you're our chosen hoe. A ham, a sham, a lumpen sap. You so wanna be a heroine, you're jacking into our cosmic track, letting our voices in, letting your sorrows go with every hit and every note. We're whispering about you behind your back. Yes, we're on the down low, we're on the attack. Moving the lips of your parallel histories. In every world, we're singing out of your mouth, harmonizing our variant journeys to stardom and misery. Okay, so I'm gonna do two more because I think it's important for you to know. And one, you're gonna have to kind of sing along. It's gonna be a sort of poetic interruptus, okay, which is coming next. But before that, you know, I'm gonna do this thing called a live Desi feed as the book moves into a more plural space. right? We start singing along. Okay. Live Desi feed. We're a hum, a flash in the pants. Our translucent pockets bulge with extra sets of heightened alerts. Our syringe has pixelated wings into the future, viral echoes, growing up into the fold-out world of wankers, effers, and one-offers. We're filled up with a mirabilis narcissus, so not to say I'm not the best at anything. Ek din, jabardast. We wander only in the cloud, proud of our transnational apparatus. We sing out loud. We're never lonely. We're a prism of martyr, hero, virgin. Our belts are tightening on veins pump with lightning speed drives, and among the 1,000 probability waves and flashing transmissions are jihad bits. Okay, so here's a section of the book called Hum Along Now, people. So eventually I'm going to ask you to do this. So let me, I did, what's going on? Is this dead? Okay, wait. You don't want to see that other thing again, which incidentally was my attempt to sort of play a god. You saw that, right? Because that's the only way that I can get at this sort of incarnatory spirit of hump, which changes forms throughout. Okay, so let's see. We're going to pause this. I'm going to read part of this, and then I'm going to ask you to look at the lyrics up here and try to sing as I sing. Okay, this is a sort of video. I feel like this is an experiment in getting everyone together as this moves from a more individual space to a sort of communal space. Let's try it. It might not work. It might be horrible. You might hate it. That's okay. Hump is hateful, out of time, and a bad singer. He's not Prince. But nevertheless, he loves Prince. Or she does. We can't tell whether he's he or she. Okay. Humpardori Jack sing along. Okay, so this is where you're going to sing along. Kindly do not forsake this world of Jack, this world our steady candy, in which we don't do Jack, in which we don't do Jack. Is there not a one who would not hang with us, who would not instant ride, merge up, and swallow whole the highs and lows, who would not sing and stroke the other along, back and forth along the spine, along the brains, and sticky cords? I only live to sing and learn, to value life and to make sure everyone gets hurt in the process. Everyone gets hurt in the process. I've seen for myself how everyone has changed. I too have changed. I too have changed. Revolving a crewing of the church, slivers of always everyone. I too have changed. I too have changed. Little universes at the smallest possible surface area and skin. Oh, damaged poison trickling, trickling. There's not a one I cannot bear to touch. Those are those damaged boys, including Prince, because I cannot seriously contemplate Prince. Life without my natural allies, my supplements. It is a matter of positioning desperate strands and lots of Bublu and Tublu, Harry and Vlad, who would merge, float, dive, swirl into guts and codas of Dave and Lev, Alan and me, Jax of all trades and patterns and codas and experiences on the scale of imps and whales who would not swallow us whole absurdly together, who would not hang with us, systematically woo all of us. I'm not thinking of fractures, of backstab, distractions, ciphers. I don't want to be the one everyone wonders about. No one to violate the bilkul plump shellac of all together now. No one villainous in all things. No one falls out with the sirens. No one cocks alone. Thank you.